Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and game 1 in a series between Rudan versus Reprisal. Or Rudan and Reprisal, not versus between, because that's just redundant. Alright, Rudan spawning as the brown Night Elf player on the top right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have Reprisal spawning as the red human. Curious thing about brown, it's not a color that's chosen very often, but it seems so woodlandish for these Night Elf creatures or Night Elf players here. So yeah, brown. Oh look, it's a legendary drop in Diablo 3. Anyways, we'll see what's going to be going down in this particular matchup as the games do get underway. Over here, we're going to see an Altar of Kings. We'll most likely see another farm placed down right there, and we'll see what the strategies will be. So far, Rudan is going to be going for that Ancient of War creeping, most likely going to be utilizing a Demon Hunter followed by an Archer. Meanwhile, back over here, we're going to see Reprisal open up, most likely with an Archmage, and that does seem to be the pretty common opening. Mountain King, the second most common. Archmage will be the hero of choice, and it is going to be a Warden instead. Alright, a Warden instead of a Demon Hunter. The Demon Hunter normally shuts down Archmage creeping. Meanwhile, the Warden shuts down everything else, as that Fan of Knives early on deals a lot of damage to Militia and Footmen. So we'll see what the strategy will be. Demon Hunter mainly counters the hero, Warden counters the army, and we'll see whether or not countering the army will be the right choice, as normally countering the army means that you have a higher hero level. Archmage about to be completed. Most likely we'll try to either Militia creep out this location here, or just simple Water Elemental creep up here, as we are going to see now one Footman do a bit of Footman scouting. Down over here, Archer is already ready to go, and oh, what is this? The Ancient of War has actually rooted itself a little bit, and now going to start attacking and pull back here. The Archer has to be very, very careful. The Warden now quickly coming in, and this is not looking like a very, very good Ancient of War creeping at all. It looks like some of the units have already retreated back. You can see Kobold Geomancer now coming in. It doesn't look like Rudan is very familiar with this particular opening at all. We'll see what's going to be happening here. Footman now looking to come in. There's a Purge, not going to do very much against the Warden, as we do see a Talisman of Evasion picked up by that Warden. So the Warden now a little bit more Demon Hunter-esque with that Evasion. Meanwhile, Archmage already getting that Claws of Attack +6, a very nice item to help him creep early on, as we are going to see the rest of these creep camps taken out. Meanwhile, it looks like the Warden got off a Shadow Strike on a Footman, and if you don't know, that little Shadow Strike, that little Goblin Ghoul thing on top of the Footman actually slows down the Footman just a little bit to take even more damage. We'll see if it's going to be enough here, as the Warden is he going to let that Footman die? Oh, the Footman trying to dance back around is at 110 hit points, will be able to naturally regenerate some hit points, but not very much at all. Archmage already sitting at level 2, has Militia called over, and Reprisal looks strong going in over here. But what is this? We may have a Creep Jack or a Water Elemental Jack here in just a moment. The Water Elemental is a little bit slower. Is it actually going to fall? That is the question. One more shot. Well, no level, or level 2 was already on that Warden. I don't know if experience was given here, as both sides are fighting. We may see a Fan of Knives here. No Fan of Knives. There we go. Fan of Knives. Warden did not get the experience. I believe it was the Archmage there. Once more, as we do have a Shadow, or yeah, a Shadow Meld, not a Hide. As we are going to continue to fight over here. Back over here, the Warden trying to get in more damage here. We are going to be getting in some additional piercing damage, but the Footmen already have Defend teched. This is looking very interesting here. The Warden at 147 mana. How much damage will be had, as we are seeing some peasants taking a little bit of damage, and now this peasant trying to build up this one particular scout tower. It looks as though no Fan of Knives still. A little bit curious about that. Why no Fan of Knives when you're surrounded by Footmen? Archer now trying to battle it up here. One tower may get canceled here in just a moment. There's a Shadow Strike. Is it going to be enough? No, not enough. Footman getting the true deny on that peasant, taking him down to deny a little bit more experience. Meanwhile, a Tree of Life was attempted to be built off over here, but instead Reprisal picks up a couple mercenaries and is able to stop that. So far, the Warden is just sitting here. Claws of Attack +6. a little bit behind in terms of level. This Arcane Tower, once it is completed, means that this Warden will not be able to get out very easily at all. Warden is able to escape here. We'll see what's going to be happening next as Reprisal is pushing, or is now retreating back home with all of these lower hit point units. And it looks like Reprisal is in the lead. Reprisal about to get his natural expansion up and running. Now gonna speed build that. So far, it looks like a pretty standard game. Warden now down to 125, 181 hit points. Is it going to be able to teleport away is the key question. Down to 48, down to 23 hit points. And a boot of speed. Warden able to barely escape there. Talisman of Evasion definitely helping out as the Warden now tries to get to level 2. Gonna perhaps pick up some additional items. Circlet of Nobility. And now finish off the rest of this particular creep camp. There's a Tome of Strength right behind her. Apparently, it is one of those heroes that doesn't like to read. Okay, Ancient of War still tanking a lot of that damage. Warden now looking to regenerate some hit points. Doesn't bother dropping the Circlet of Nobility. So, curious move by Rudan. Rudan is not doing all the necessary small things that normally goes with winning. Archmage already at level 3, now picking up a Dust of Appearance. Very smart buy to stop any more of that Shadow Meld. Warden now seeing that level 3 has a level 2 ability. I'm not quite sure which. We'll see what it's going to be. Still leaving that Tome of Strength behind. And now what is going to be happening here? Going to go ahead and try to pick up some more mercenaries. What is the production building? Ancient of Wonders just about to be completed. Not very many units at all as the Warden now going to be in trouble here. There's that Fan of Knives. Level 2 Fan of Knives it looks like as the Warden is now in a bit of trouble. Abolish magic onto a water elemental. But this fight is not going well for Rudan at all. Panda now coming out, and the Panda's going to be very helpful for Rudan, as Rudan may be able to get off a couple of Breath of Fires here. Will it be able to? Yes, gets off one Breath of Fire, but the Warden still at 58 hit points, needs to back away. Panda and the Warden now need to perhaps go to the Moonwells, get some more mana, and then re-engage next. The problem right now for the Archmage is that he does not have a scroll of healing or a scroll of regeneration, and a lot of his units are in the orange. That may look like a decent amount of life, but with level 2 Fan of Knives and level 1 Breath of Fire, that can quickly turn around here. There's that Fan of Knives, there's the Drunken Haze, or there's the Breath of Fire, and the damage has been dealt. Is the Warden going to perhaps be able to get off another Fan of Knives? That is the question. Very low on hit points. Scroll of Town Portal coming in just in time. The Panda could perhaps get off a Breath of Fire. There it goes. And now Reprisal once again low on hit points, but able to somehow survive with those Forest Troll Shadow Priests. Warden very low, has to be careful. What is it gonna do? Using a potion of healing and also using that Night Stone, the Moonstone, in order to get more moon juice into those moon wells. Alright, Ancient of War gonna get sniped down here, and Reprisal is doing everything right in this matchup, has the larger army. But all it takes is 2 very good spell casts in order for Rudan to get back into this. We are seeing some arcane towers and guard towers being built here by Reprisal as well. It's going to be very difficult to build anything as we now see the Warden perhaps trying to try to engage. There is another Fan of Knives plus a Breath of Fire. Both sides may try to engage again. The Warden does have a potion of healing. Again, there's a slow cast now on the Warden. There's a potion of healing. Another Fan of Knives. And where is that Panda? The Panda unable to really do much at all. And there is the GG. Rudan losing game 1 in this matchup. A very close matchup if you look at the total score. But it really felt like Reprisal was in constant control of that game. Reprisal having more resources. Also having a larger army. Rudan having the benefit of a second hero, but that second hero really didn't do very much. Did get a lot of damage off, but that is game 1 in this series. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed game 1. Stay tuned for game 2.